transparency. That's why this podcast is A1 in my book, and I love to get together with these two because there's a lot of things that we talk about that we're going through, that we're coming out of, that we're challenging ourselves as not only individual but as a company. But remember this: if you're in a position that you want to win, all you got to do is put God first, and He's going to do the rest. Put in the work, He will handle what you can.
Welcome back to the Paralyzed, the Prosperous podcast.
we gonna get it. We gonna get it.
We're gonna get it soon.
Wild.
It's on me. I should be in the mirror every day practicing, but I'm over here trying to practice the substance. So we're gonna get to the intro practice soon. But how y'all doing, man? Hi, Miss Alalai and
You
Mr. Hort.
are
How are
so
y'all
funny
doing?
to me. I am amazing. It's been another great day. I was off today, so I'm a little more lively than
See that.
usual. Yeah.
See that.
Yep. So it's been good. It's been good. I'm always happy to be here with you guys. I love, our chats and I love trying to help people have some breakthrough. So yeah, I'm ready for it tonight.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Jorge, talk to me. How's
We
everything
good.
going?
Hey, we good, man. We on, we on this journey of health journey, man. I'll be honest with you. We were just talking about what I was eating before we got on the podcast, and your boy's eating some ground meat and veggies. And I'll be honest with you, man. It's tough. It's tough because if you know me, y'all know me. Y'all been around me. You know my wife, and you know us. We love eating. That's just that's the culture. We love going to see restaurants and try. Like Kayla and I will travel, no, for real, 2 hours just to go get something to eat. And
I
people
feel
are like
that.
2 hours. I was like, yo, we don't go clubbing. We don't really do any of that. Other stuff. So our thing is finding good spots and eat. And so I'm in a season that even though I love food, guys, I'm chasing my health at a high level. I'm 46, man, and even though my brain wants to tell me I'm younger than what I really am, I have to really start making some wise decisions. And I'm grateful. My 46-year-old is grateful to my 36-year-old, or my 36-year-old is grateful to my 26-year-old because I stopped smoking. I stopped doing certain things, and I'll be honest with you. I praise God for having the awareness, even then when I was in the midst of the foolishness, to know that like even though I enjoy this, I gotta chill. I gotta let this go, and that took a transition. But 20, 30, 20 years after, I'm here, and I'm benefiting from the decisions I did back then. And at 46, I'm like, yo, you good. I see some folks that are dried up. They look sick. They're younger than me. They're 35, and they look like they're 56, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm so going through this journey of eating, healthy and being careful with what because I don't. You never see me drink soda. Y'all never see me really drink juice. I drink water
Right.
all the time. Stay on it. I'm not even. I don't be on some deep stuff. I'm just like I'm really working on just being healthier. And so I'm in a season right now, guys, that I'm not having fun with it. I'm not having fun with it. Like I'll be honest with you, I'm eating for fuel. And so there's a certain level of commitment that I have to do to be able to get the results I'm seeking, and it's not fun. And but I give praise to God because my whole concept and ability to do to sacrifice and put non-negotiable and things that I'm really working on getting or putting myself in certain situations. I've been blessed since I was young, and so it takes me a while, but once I catch it and once I put myself and I own it, then it becomes me. And so yeah, man, just working on being better in that space. I want to get to 56, and I want to look like I'm 46. I want to feel like I'm 46. I want to, by then, your boy would be Dr. Sierra, what I'm saying, Jorge Sierra. And I don't want to be, somebody said to me, when you get that degree, you're gonna be retired. It's gonna be time to retire. And I'm like, all right. And I thought it was hilarious. I was like, okay. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, yo, that's what society does. Like they want to put their insecurities on you, and they want to put and I mind you, it was a joke, but there was some truth to that, right? It was some reality that's how probably they perceived it. And I'm like, nah, by the time I hit 56, guys, your boy's gonna be popping. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna be, obviously if God lets it be and through him, but I'm gonna do everything I can on my end. So yeah, man, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Just one day at a time, owning the day, making the adjustments and not getting caught up where I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Today, Jason has a whole box of onion rings. Your boy grabbed a little bag and chow down. And Kayla looked at me like, "Oh, what?" I was like, "Bro, like stop," because I know, but I know I'm a grow right. And she's like, she was like, "Yo, I just can't do that." I was like, "No, that's the difference. I take one. That's it. Like I'm good for the week. That was just a treat for myself."
Mhm.
And I just understand the discipline that needs to go into, um, you know, everything I'm doing. Whether it's just our speaking company, whether it's as a husband, as a father, we're entering different layers of my life that I'm just being very just self aware, man. Just self aware. So I mean to turn that into a whole different. But that's just where I'm at.
Oh, lesson.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You
yeah.
all good. You all good. So you say you 46. That means for our younger listeners, that means you used to listen to 8 tracks. That's crazy.
Hey, listen,
Did,
A tracks.
did he? Did
Nah,
you?
let them. Yo, listen. Yo, listen. 8 tracks were, yeah, I think I was like probably like 6 or 7 when we had the 8 tracks going. But your boy was with the tapes, right? But I do remember, DJ. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had a stereo and Alala. I don't know if you're young too, so you probably, but I'm sure y'all seen them. It's the stereo, the TV slash stereo in the
Yeah.
house. The 8 track
Mm,
there. So I've gone to see them DJ.
mhm.
Like never had one
Hey, I just
myself.
wanted to let the younger listeners know, man. I wanted to let them
They
know
don't
that
even know what an 8 track
I
is. Like tell them what an 8 track
Golly.
is though. Tell them what the 8 track is though. Stop that.
hey, I can't even really explain it. Like, you seen one. I just seen it on
So you don't
TV.
even know what it is?
No, so I know what the 8 track. I know it was
No,
a
no,
form
yo,
of
listen,
a
young
form of music, a
Listen,
form
young
of
man,
listening to
right?
music
I
before
need you
tape. That's
next
all I can tell you.
podcast. I need you to do a report, and I want you to come tell me what an 8 track really is. All right? I want you to do
Mhm.
your research and understand what an 8 track is. Talk to me when you get that research. I thought you seen one before.
Oh man,
Petty, just
I don't think I've
petty.
actually seen one in person. Now I think about it. Maybe a
No, no,
grandma
but
was.
but have you
My
seen
grandma
one?
was a record.
But have you seen one in just in online or anything?
Yeah, I've seen one. I've definitely
Oh,
seen one
okay,
before.
that's what. Okay, so you seen one? Nah, it's yo. Listen. Don't let this old head. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. This old head is really working on himself. I'm gonna be 56, still popping those willies. Yes, yes,
But
yeah.
check this out. So I really brought up your age because I was thinking like, do you think from 26 to 36 to 46? Do you think you exponentially grew? Each decade, and what's the importance of that? You know what I'm saying? What's the importance of progressing? Every decade like that.
Hey, listen, we go right into what we're talking about. It's just not being lazy with your success. Like let's go right into it. Right, we're going to talk about just how individuals get lazy with their own success. And mind you, I get lazy because I've been there, and that there's times that I'm very transparent. I don't play with this because I don't want people to think that it doesn't happen to, like, it happens to all of us. The difference
Yeah.
between a lot of us and certain individuals is that you stay on that. You stay on that. And I'll be honest with you, I've gotten lazy with my success. There's seasons that I look in the mirror and I gotta face you too, right? And I gotta be like yo, you're not doing what you need to do. And that goes whether it's with my wife, my son, my businesses, within my own self, right? Just even my health and my taking care of myself because I'm a paraplegic, right? But like just because I'm a paraplegic, that doesn't mean I gotta walk out the house or roll out the house with no shoes on, clothes not ironed. Like that doesn't give me an excuse.
Mm,
And I see a lot of people that are disabled and they let
Mhm.
go. They get lazy with themselves, right? They get lazy with the appearance of just be representable. So I say all that to say that yes, I'll be honest with you. I've been there, and there's seasons that I gotta check myself. The difference, just kind of going back to what you just asked me, is that I just I am a success addict. And even though I could get lazy on myself at times, I love the feeling of achieving. I love the feeling that I get when not you're there's not too many people that could accomplish certain things in life. Not because they can't, it's that they choose not to. And so
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I get a high with like, yo, like walking on stage and getting my degree.
Right.
I get there's a certain energy that I love to be that I'm like, yo, you did that. And so that always overrides the laziness in me. That always overrides the excuses in me. That always overrides, the ability of me having more options. And mind you, I grew up with no options. Like we didn't have too many
Mhm.
options. So that's what people don't understand. And when I say I refuse to lose, yo, the reality is that I just don't ever want to go back to that situation or that time and place in my life where I didn't have options. And so
Right.
right now we good, but we could be phenomenal, and we're gonna be
And
phenomenal.
I felt that. I felt that. And I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit and kind of talk about a different spectrum of being lazy with your success. And this is something that has came up a lot. I'm about to have basically I was able to help put together a camp in our hometown, one of our pro athletes, partnering with the college and things of that nature. And so I've been really like you know, talking to a lot of pro athletes around our way because, of course, a lot of them are going to be coaches and things of that nature, and a lot of things just have came up, right? And we have a young pro in our town. I'm really going. I'm gonna say his initials because I really want him to hear this, right? Um, my man's name is JM. So young pro in our hometown, and he's still cold to this day. But he's been at some of the highest levels in the world. Played at high major D1 straight from Topeka, Kansas. You know what I'm saying? Went to the G League, played, went overseas and played. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, he's probably one of the best players in the world, and that's why I want him to hear this now. It's like, okay, he knows he's one of the best players in the world. He knows nobody can mess with him around the way, but that almost paralyzes his mindset, makes him lazy with that success. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like what he sees it as I'm always going to be better than people around here. I'm probably always going to be better than half the people I go play against. So I'm gonna stay in my hood. I'm gonna keep doing my stuff. I'm going to keep the influences I had when I was younger, because again, I'm paralyzed to this. My mind is paralyzed to this mindset. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like almost my man's is being lazy with his success because the pros up here have an ecosystem. They're not in their hood. They're at gyms in the morning time. They're lifting. You know what I'm saying? They take care of their bodies. They're going to the masseuses. They're going to these chiropractors. They're making sure to all around take care of their game because they know for a fact that's what they do for a living,
Yeah, but
right?
DJ, is he really being lazy, or is he intimidated with going outside of that circle and really seeing what he got? Because sometimes people just
Mm-hmm.
like that's cool when you're the biggest lion in the room, but we all know that when you that dude, then you're in the wrong room.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And so to
Mm.
answer your question, I personally still see it as lazy with the success part of it, because he has seen the stages that he can be on when he's not in those environments. Because it's not like I don't think he's scared because he's been out of those environments and been able to thrive even more. Like I said, G League. Okay, back in those environments overseas. I'm not clowning people from overseas, but he went from one step to the league to maybe three steps to the league. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's that. It's more like, okay, I know I can be successful no matter what, no matter what. So why practice? Why practice? Why do these certain things when I can just go hoop and be better? You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
that's just how I came at it with this subject. But that was just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to have a wake up call at the end when it's time to, say their last goodbyes and realize that they had way more control with the level of success that they could have had. They had way more influence and control within that. 'Cause I think a lot of people think their success is built on these outside factors, and it's not. Whatever success is to you, right? It's in your hand. It's really up to you, right? And so I I'll give you two instances. I remember when I was in college, I had this professor. I was going through some personal things, and wasn't being responsible. I'm just keeping it on. I just wasn't being responsible when it came to like getting to class on time. I was habitually late. Just didn't want to get out of bed. Was struggling. Whatever. Habitually late. And so when I got there, one of my classmates was like, "Hey, he passed out some like paperwork. You need to go get it." So I went to him for the paperwork, and he said, "No." He straight up told me no. And I'm like, okay, why not? And he's like, because I said so. And then he said this whole speech in front of the class, which was like Some of y'all just are skirting by and you're not taking it seriously enough. And kind of the same thing, like it's up to you. Like
Mm.
you're not gonna get the same opportunities as someone else when you are showing up late or not showing up at all. And it is foolish of you to think you're gonna get the same opportunities when you are not putting in the work. I said, oh, okay. And my feelings, I mean, I was in, I was a little bit younger then. So, my feelings was hurt, but, I ended up getting the packet. A friend helped me out, whatever. But it was a lesson. And obviously, years later, it stuck with me. If I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. If I'm not going to show up, I'm not going to show up. But it would be foolish and honestly quite arrogant of me to think I'm going to get the exact same opportunities as someone
Mhm.
else who maybe they wake up earlier. Maybe they get to work earlier. Maybe they apply for the grant. Maybe they built the business. It would be foolish of me to think I'm going to get the same results if I'm not putting in the same amount of work. Second
That's fair.
example, actually, it happened today. So I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. I had run in with a business, and it was a small business. Okay. And listen, love small business, love minority owned businesses. But y'all, you got to show up.
Get it together.
You're you asking people to support you, but you have to show up. So I get a message. I did a little partnership,
Mhm.
right? This person, when I said had an amazing opportunity, you came into an area where the median income is like $140,000, $150,000. That's the average median income in that area.
Mhm.
You had the ability to do amazing things for your business because I've already opened the door for you. You had an in. They did no marketing on their end at all. At all. They did no marketing, no announcements, no nothing. They literally just showed up and then they were upset that they didn't get a lot of foot traffic. But when someone gives you an opportunity, you have to make sure they might do things for you. They might say, hey, I'm going to put you on. Hey, I'm going to market for you, or we'll do some marketing on our end. It is still your responsibility for your success, whether that be an individual event, large event, throughout the years, or season of success, however you want to define it. So when you get these opportunities, you have to make sure you are managing them well and don't take for granted. Sure, you might have a partnership, but there's still work for you to do. So I said all that to say, towards the end of the event, I get a long message, and the message is like, this is not great. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. And I'm like, I did everything we agreed on our end, did everything we agreed on. And then I went to that person's social media page. You have not
Mhm.
posted in a week, nothing in your stories, nothing on your website. They also, I called them a few days ago to do confirmation to make sure they had all the information they needed to be able to access exactly what they needed. Never answered the phone, and you never called me back. So at what point in time is it like it's a fine line of like, oh, like, yeah, I can help you, but I can't drag you to success. I'm not going to drag you to success. And a lot of you guys are waiting on other people. And let's keep it 100. A lot of y'all, the only reason you want the partnerships and you want oh, can I be on your podcast? Or can I show up on your page? Or can I go live with you? Is because you want someone else to drag you to success. And that is
Mhm.
not how it works, and you're going to
Yeah.
be sorely disappointed. And because you don't see that, you turn around and point the finger and say, "Oh, because you didn't do something, now I'm not successful."
And that's
It
and
just doesn't
that's
work like that.
That,
that's
that
and
goes
that's
back to
the that's and not to cut you off, but that's right there is crazy, right? Not so much like, okay, there's one layer of you being like you fumbling and you dropping the ball on your, but then
Yes.
you're gonna blame other folks for that lack of foolishness. Like that right there is what, like, it's a pet peeve of mine, and this is why if you guys know, man, I own, that's the first thing before I complain about anybody. I'm like, okay, Jorge, where do you had
What
some
did I
fault
do?
in it? Where did you did what happened that this happened? And so
Hmm.
a lot of y'all, like, and I really want you to listen to what she said, man. She, Adela is talking about not only that person didn't do their part, then
Mhm.
took then took the opportunity to say, this could be a great opportunity for me to do XYZ and position myself, whether it's social media, whether it's promoting, whether doing whatever the story is. You drop the ball, but then you
Yes.
have the audacity to go back and blame someone else for the lack of your success. And that right there, that's the most paralyzing mindset you could ever have.
Well,
Because
it's
to be honest,
laziness.
well,
It's laziness. You're
no,
being lazy.
but laziness is one thing. Like let's really look at this for what it is. Because
Mhm.
laziness was her not following, that person not following through, right? Okay, like cool. But then you want to literally put that result on someone else. So it's more than just
Mhm.
lazy. Now you're just the type of person that just can't even receive that you're wrong. And to
Yeah.
me, lazy is one thing, but like if you're lazy and you're like, you know what, my bad, like I own that. Thank you, I appreciate what you did, and you showed up and I'm embarrassed. Like sorry that I didn't do my part. Like yo, I could work with that. Because
Mhm.
all right, once you get your stuff together, man, maybe we could kind of like sit back and kind of like, okay,
Right.
where can I help you then? Because now at this point, it's not even. But when you literally sit there and just want to point fingers, I think that that's just that within itself, it speaks so much volume of the individual. And those are the folks that are gonna always sit on the sidelines and be cheerleaders or even opinionated on what they believe is fair or foul. But like look in the mirror, and I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that that goes on in today's society more than what we would like to kind of really talk about because
Exactly.
we don't have we're in an era right now that people just don't want to take accountability, and that's
Hmm.
that's a problem for me. Like laziness is one thing I lie. Like
Mhm.
I started the
But I think they
conversation.
go hand in hand. I think they
No,
go hand in
it
hand.
does. But Alalai,
Yeah.
you'll never hear me blame anybody else for my lack of not doing what I need to do. You've
Yeah.
been
No,
around
you're
me.
right.
You've been around me a couple. We going on, and I'll be the first. I'm
I
like,
know.
my bad.
That's me. Yeah.
That's me. I own that. I
Yeah.
apologize. Like that's I
Hmm.
gotta get it, and it might be the same conversation 3 times, guys. Right?
Hmm.
I might say
Hmm.
that. I'm like, yo, my bad, my bad, and it gets to a point that I get tired of saying certain things, right? But you'll never hear from me, oh, this is your fault, this is your fault. Because again, that just speaks of the individual, and that's why if you go back to the question that DJ asked me, like how was I able to go from 3 decades
Hmm.
ago, is because I always owned up to that part. I always owned up to what was the lack of me doing certain things, but I also owned up to the victories that I put myself in that I want. Like right, like it's a two
Hmm.
side of the coin because you can't win and not say Jorge like you didn't have nothing to do with that. Like yo, I'll give grace to God for everybody that came in my life and helped me, but I walked through
Yeah.
that door. Vice
Right.
versa, on the other side of it, when things don't go right, bro, like I didn't do what I needed to
You
do.
walk through the door,
Yeah, I walked through
Yeah.
that
right?
door.
Or not,
Yeah,
right?
or not, or not.
That's good.
Well,
That's
you know
good.
what's
And really,
interesting
Jorge,
about
I.
that interaction
Uh-huh.
is because they came with like this list of you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I'm like, this is very interesting. One, it was very assumptive. Two, because they hadn't actually talked to me, I just got a passive aggressive message in on Instagram. So,
Oh,
and then
Instagram. It
I
wasn't even a
actually,
personal.
well, I spotted the person and the D in me said, "Hi, I got your message. Did you send the message? Because I got the message." And they were like,
Hmm.
"No, no, 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 no. That was someone else that sent the message. No problem. But let's have a conversation so you can go tell them what actually is happening." Because sometimes your perspective, going back to that laziness, going back to that paralyzed mindset, you can't even conceive that there could be a different possibility than what you originally think is happening.
Yeah.
But because I got this list of like, oh, we're not going to be able to do this anymore. No problem, because you're not the type of person that I want to work with. One, but two, they set themselves up where like I knew I couldn't even bring constructive criticism to what was happening, right? So you missed out on a learning opportunity. You missed out on money. The thing that you wanted, you missed out on it because I now see you're just pointing the finger and complaining, but now you're missing more opportunities because you're not in a position to what receive,
That's good.
right? Because it's everybody else's fault. So you were lazy with it. You thought one person was just supposed to do all the things, all the marketing, all the advertising, and you were going to reap the benefits from it, right? Then you
Hmm.
show up, you complain about what didn't happen, even though you didn't contribute to it at all, right? And then now you're missing out on more opportunities. And then icing on the cake, I talked to some of the people that purchased the product, and they hated it.
Wow.
So
No,
your
that's
product isn't good. Your marketing isn't good. Your branding isn't good, but it's my fault.
Not hate it
Peace
though.
be,
Not hate it.
peace be with
Eh,
you.
I can't believe you hate it though. But check this out. But check this out. One part that another part that's crazy. That because Jorge broke down two parts. There's another part. Like
Okay.
take advantage of every opportunity. Take
Yes.
advantage of, and like I'm reading freaking what's the book called? I'm sorry. Babylon, The Richest Man in Babylon. The Richest Man in
Ooh.
Babylon.
Good book.
And y'all remember when the old man told Archon, save 10% of all your money, right?
Yeah.
What did he do for the first time? My man
Mm-hmm.
gave it to a bricklayer to go get some jewels, and my man brought back glass. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So the
Mm-hmm.
old man came back and he asked him, like, bro, like, did you say that money? He was like, yes, but I did this, this, and this. Well, he was like, you're not ready for that. You're not ready for the opportunity yet, basically. And he said he didn't even know what the opportunity was yet. But the old man in his head was like, no, you're not ready for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
my man Archive went back, took his advice again, saved that 10% for how many? I don't even know how many years per se, but he saved that money for all these years and came back and he was ready for the game. You know what I'm saying? He had the money saved. He
Mm-hmm.
did everything that this old man told him. So he since he took advantage of that opportunity to listen to that old man and take his advice, the old man helped him become one of the richest men in Babylon. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like you have to take advantage of every single opportunity,
But
even when
you
you
But
you
it's the
gotta
mindset,
listen.
DJ.
You
It's the
gotta
mindset.
listen.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
the
yeah. You have
mindset.
to
He
listen. You
listened.
have to have some
that's true.
humility.
Yeah.
You gotta have some follow through.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, there are just way too many people. And I wish I could say this is just one industry or another. It's not, because it's like Jorge said, it's a mindset. I've seen it in different industries working with different managers.
Yes.
Right? People just want to show up and they want all the rewards. I think I said this in another podcast. Some of the good people might be upset with me, but I gotta keep it a buck 25. Listen, y'all, some of y'all know I moved to Charlotte. It's been a year. Y'all, I officially hit my year yesterday of being in Charlotte.
What?
Yay! It's
Already? Wow.
been a year.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. Nah, that is crazy.
But since being in Charlotte, I have had the most interesting customer service experiences. Okay. Like, and when I say interesting, I mean they've been bad. They've been bad, right? And not trying to be ugly, because I know somebody's gonna be upset I said this, but I can kind of see why some of them are getting paid the wages that they're getting paid,
Mm.
whether that be on the high end or the low end. But the low end tends to be really low, and I see why they're getting paid what they're getting paid,
Because
right?
even if they're doing a sandwich, even if they're cleaning a table, they don't do it with the heart posture of like, yo, I'm gonna be the best one at doing this, because this is where, and I'm
You
glad you
know
brought
what?
this up because
I would, this might
but
be a bad example. I would take average. I'm not even getting average work.
no, but that's my
Do you
point,
understand what
right?
I'm
I'll
saying?
lie.
I'm not getting average.
I'll lie. 20 something years ago, I had my first opportunity in Seven Hills Foundation. What is Seven Hills Foundation? Seven Hills Foundation is an agency that take care of mentally and physically challenged individuals. So I had an opportunity to do a residential house, and I became what they call just a support living. And I had four individuals I took care of. Now, mind you, these were grown men in diapers, and we had to change their diapers, feed them, bathe them. I'm in a wheelchair. Two of them were in wheelchairs, and the other two were just physically challenged to be able to walk and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
that job, that's where even before I got into Rob Roy, that job itself, I gave it everything I had. And mind you, the first day that I was gonna get in there, I was literally gonna leave. I was gonna quit because 11 o'clock came. I did 3 to 11. 11 o'clock came. One of the guys fell, and I didn't know that when you do work in medical field and in that type of field, you can't leave until somebody else release you from. So I
Mhm.
heard that. I'm like, no, I'm like I did 311. I'm out. Like,
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
like, nah. Through that process, I did that work like there was no tomorrow. And yo, can that's how I got the that's what God had used for me to be able to serve others. Right? I was young. I was like
Mm.
19, but at this point, I'm here, giving everything I got, change it. And so a lot of you guys are in position where y'all get a Mickey D's, McDonald's job, and so you're miserable. You're complaining every day as you go in, as you come out. While you in there, you're not
Yeah.
operating off of excellence, and you never know who's watching you. You don't know. who's
Mhm.
really paying attention. And mind you, just even within that in any of those scenarios, there's these things called skill sets. And so when you work on your skill set, regardless if you're cleaning, changing a diaper, regardless if you're doing cleaning in a bathroom, regardless if you're doing fast food,
Mhm.
ultimately that vehicle, which is something that we always call a 9 to 5, right? A vehicle, it's what's gonna free you and position you if you actually don't be living through that process. Bless you.
Bless you.
In regards to be able to get to that next level. So I'm just glad you brought that because that's something in within itself. People just don't know how to take accountability, and they operate, whether it's in their marriage, in their relationship, whether it's at work. They
Mhm.
just have this demeanor of just kind of very chalant, and they're gonna show up as they are, and they're not gonna turn it up, and they're not gonna give it their all. And you kind of touched on it, like I'll be happy if you gave me average. You're not even giving me the average.
Yeah, and that's bad to say, but
No,
that has been the experience. Like, at least give me average, at least give me something, right? But to go into these spaces and demand top tier, whatever it is you're demanding, whether that's the best pay, whatever, and you're not giving that back, like it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't. And a lot of people get their feelings hurt because they don't get the things that they're expecting to get, but they're not showing up in a way that would offer them the opportunity to get whatever it is they're desiring. It doesn't work. And it's unfortunate, but I keep seeing it. I keep seeing it over and over again. And for those listening, we're not gonna say we're perfect. The point is we're aware and we're growing and like constantly trying to get better. And just to encourage you to do the same thing, like really take an inventory of your life. And I've said this before, you're going to have to get to a point where you're honest with yourself and say, okay, what can I change right now? What do I like? What do I not like? And what do I actually have control over? Because ultimately, I mean, I was talking about a small business. Take the business away, take branding away, take all the titles away and just deal with your internal self. That's really what it comes down to.
yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. Hey, listen, man, laziness is getting in the way of your success. Not the lack of information, not the lack of tools, not the lack of people, but you, because you are exactly where you need to be, and where exactly where you start off is what you all you need. And so a lot of y'all just are so lazy that are not willing to go find, like you don't have non-negotiables, and that's the problem, right? You just literally show up to places and just expect everybody and everything to fall in line or fall in place. And life is not like that. That's something that I'll be honest with you. People, when I meet people and they say, "Yo, I'm sorry you're in a wheelchair," do you understand that that wheelchair is what got me to be the man I am today? Like
Mm-hmm.
not being able to compromise because either I did or I didn't do it. That determined how I was gonna be able to eat or not. And so sometimes when you have so many options and you just good, and it's just it really does paralyze a lot of folks, man. So yeah, man.
And I just want to read this.
That
I
lazy
want to
piece.
read this real quick because I want to make sure I'm just pulling up the actual definition of laziness. Okay.
Talk to us.
It says the quality of being unwilling, and it underline unwilling. Okay. The
Mhm.
quality of being unwilling to work or use energy.
Yeah.
You're just unwilling. It's not that you're not capable, you're just
Now,
unwilling.
mind you, can I play devil's advocate on this? What about those folks that, you know, are willing? Because this is we're in a space that folks will be like, yo, but I deal with mental health. I deal with
Hmm.
trauma. I've deal with and you guys know what my thing is. I've been there. I've dealt with mental health. I trauma. I dealt with all that. Like we all have. But
Hmm.
what do you say to those individuals that be like, yo, that's cool, but like
I'll
I
say
can't.
I've never seen a person who has actually put in effort fail. It might take you longer to get there. You might have to learn some additional skill sets along the way and switch up your strategy. But I've never seen a person who actually put forth the effort fail. I haven't. We're talking about an unwillingness. Laziness is the unwillingness to put in the effort. So for those people who are having your struggles, been there, God be with you. Can't wait to hear about your success stories and your testimony of freedom. But as long as you are putting in the effort, you are applying the principles that God put in this earth to help you be successful, you are going to get there. What is meant for you to have, you will have.
Amen.
Oh,
It
that's
is the
facts.
unwillingness part. It is the I'm on my sofa, but I want to make $120,000 a year part. You know what I'm saying?
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
That's it. And
Facts.
it's unfortunate. And I guess, for those who might hear a little bit of frustration or like a passion behind my voice, y'all, I love small businesses. I love when people are successful. I do. That's part of what I have done in consulting, is try to help people clear the mud so they can be, successful in their business. But at the end of the day, when you never take accountability for your own laziness, for your own lack of preparation, for your own lack of motivation, because listen, you either gonna go get it or you not.
That's
You
it.
gonna eat or you gonna
That's
starve.
it. That's
pick
it.
pick a lane. You just gonna have to pick a
That's
lane.
it.
You gotta pick a lane,
That's
bro. You
it.
have to pick
Yeah.
a lane. And so it's
Yeah.
it's frustrating because there's so many resources out here. So many people will say, I didn't get the opportunity. Well, someone opens up a door for you, you're around people who making $50,000 a month,
Talk
but you
that.
didn't get the opportunity, but you didn't open your mouth,
Talk
but you
that.
didn't plan, but you didn't market, but you get what I'm saying? So
That talk. Talk that
I
talk.
just listen, we always talking about, making lemonade from the lemons. Squeeze it, make some lemonade. I need some lemon meringue pie. I need some popsicles. Like, take that opportunity and cut that mug up. Listen, dry the seeds from the lemon. I need some fresh powder to put in my morning smoothie. Like, make it do what it do. For those of you who recognize that language, make it do what it do.
Hey,
Do what it do.
it just doesn't hurt enough. When you are that lazy, it just doesn't hurt enough. Because when
Okay.
it hurts, like I always use the reference that people will, when you have a toothache, people will dance around that toothache, and if one side of my mouth hurts, I'm gonna start chewing on the opposite side because it doesn't hurt that much, even though it's bothering me, it's a little achy. But then it gets to a point that toothache starts getting when I drink something. So now I start drinking hot stuff instead of cold stuff because I don't want it. Like it doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Mm-hmm.
go. People don't go into the dentist and literally be like until the pain is so unbearable that you can't eat, sleep, or think. That's when
Yeah.
people will financially, they don't care what it is but stop the pain. And so the reason you are still on some lazy stuff, it just doesn't hurt enough. And so I
Mhm.
praise God that I praise God that you don't get to a point that pain is so hurtful that's when you're gonna wake up. And so a lot of y'all wait for that moment, and when you don't have nobody backing you up because you've been lazy and people just don't want to deal with that foolishness, and you want to sit there and blame the world. And so because even though it hurts a little, it doesn't hurt enough, and you just want to sit there and make adjustments, right? Using the energy because you're still making and you're still taking energy to make adjustments to try to be lazy about whatever it is in front of you.
Right.
But
Right.
when you take that toothache, when it first starts giving you an indication that there's something wrong, you're
Mhm.
not gonna lose the tooth. You might need a
Mm-hmm.
cleaning. You might need a, start, go get a filling, whatever that is. And so
Yeah.
obviously we're not talking about a toothache, but we're talking about just in general in a lot of you guys' life, right? Including myself. I've been there. And that's why I know firsthand that sometimes Jorge will do certain things and allow certain things. And once it gets to that point that it hurts, I'm like, oh no, we won't do this. And mind you, I've learned through those processes, but now at 46, that's why we talked about Jorge eating the ground meat and the veggies. Why? Because I know better. I know that when you prepare and you don't be lazy on within your journey in life, then is a better percentage of you being successful than actually just
Mm-hmm.
sitting there and allowing things just to happen and then just react to it.
Or
Yeah.
my thing is just be honest. Just be honest and say, you know what, I want this, but I'm not willing to put in the work for it. And so, listen, whatever that is for you, that's okay. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But don't want something that you're not willing to put in the work for and then complain that you don't have it.
Amen. Amen.
That's fact.
DJ, go
And
ahead,
also,
baby.
you gonna have those people too, man. You gonna have those people who are willing, super willing. You know what I'm saying? Do
Hmm.
the work, win, and then fail, and then get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Yeah.
get back up from there. And I think that like the reason why have y'all watched that Cheetos movie on Hulu yet? The Flamin' Hot Cheetos
Mm-mm.
movie.
Flaming hot. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so the reason why I cried about at that movie is because he failed. All right, okay, he wasn't winning.
Hmm.
He won a little bit. He wasn't winning for 20 years. He won a little bit, but when he got his ultimate win and it failed, he was like, okay, my idea is way too great for this. So I know that there's one thing that, and guess what the problem was? Same problem as the business you was working with. Cheeto or Frito Lay, or I'm sorry, Lay's, whoever is the overland company
Hmm.
to Cheetos, they didn't market it. They especially didn't market it to his people. So what he did was, okay, even though I got it to here and they said they're gonna pull it, I'm gonna show them what real marketing is. He took it out by hand, by foot, by bike, by car, and spread it around the hood. Spread it around to everybody. These are hot Cheetos. This is what they are. This is how they
Was it in the
taste.
hood? Was it in our hood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that.
because that's the
Yeah,
it's the Flaming Hot Cheeto movie, right?
Yeah, the Flame
it's a
Hot Cheetos.
movie.
It was
Oh,
all
I gotta
Hispanic
catch.
in
It's,
there.
yeah,
It
it's
had
on
all Latino
Netflix or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a powerful story because yes, we always see those movies where people aren't winning, they win, and the movie's over. We never see it as
Yeah.
like they're not winning, they win. It's almost to a point that they fail, but they figure out
Hmm.
another way to win even more. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so that's why I cried at that movie because it's about you're gonna fail, bro. Bro and sis, I'm sorry, you're gonna fail. You're gonna
That's
fail
part
10
of it.
times, 20
Part of
times,
it. It's part
but
of
Hmm.
it.
you gotta get back
Yeah.
up. And even if you don't
Yeah.
get right back up on your feet, get back on your knees. You know what I'm saying? Get back on your hands and feet, and then push yourself back up to your feet. Because on
Hmm.
everything, like what's made for you is made for you. And if you have that vision of success in your head, bro, it's yours. You got to grab it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Absolutely. And you said the same thing, right? He just kept going. So even though there was a failure, you asked me this earlier. I've never seen people truly fail if they kept trying.
Yeah,
I never.
that's it. That's
The
it. So
companies that we indulge in every single day, right? For those of you to go get your coffee from your favorite places or you have your favorite place to shop for clothing, plenty of those people failed over and over and over again. Biggest banks in the US right now have what
oh,
had to be bailed out, right? Like car companies had to be bailed out. They've been failures, y'all. And you still driving your Ford.
yeah. Hey, listen, man. As we wrap it up, I love it because I believe that somebody has to hear this and really receive what we're talking about. I truly believe, and this is from someone that came from a background of education was not celebrated. I didn't have role models, and I can only speak for myself, and that's why I always use myself as an example because my truth is my truth, and I know what are those areas that I had to figure out, I had to fight, I had to really decide to move right and not just allow that space or that situation or folks or whatever you want to call it, whatever challenges we're dealing with out there right now. And so in the last 30 years there was so many levels to my life, but the one thing that I know, and as I'm hearing Alalai really break down that definition, is that I chose not to accept and sit in whatever that was. And even when I wasn't getting the results or I was operating off of just pure laziness,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's really at times that's what I was. And mind you, in my head, it wasn't that I was being lazy. In my head, I was justifying what I felt and how I was moving and what was happening to me. But I realized that even in those times, there was this thing that I was were able to activate and make a decision and say, yo, this is not my truth. This is not going to be my life. I'm not going to be sitting here collecting SSI for the rest of my life. I'm not going to sit here and be this individual in a wheelchair that is going to look like 300 pounds and not be able to move because I didn't eat right and because I needed support and fall into this trap that most of you are allowing yourself to kind of allow yourself to kind of stay inside of that mindset. And mind you, I just started looking for solutions for problems in my life. And the only way that I knew that I was going to make sure I got those solutions, aligned with what I wanted was actually making it happen myself. And so it took me a long time like I'm 46 and I'm still chasing here a degree and in a putting myself in a grad program and eventually to the doctorate. But I tell you this all the time. This is not even about the actual degree. This is about me understanding that when you put yourself in those environments and you challenge yourself and you decide to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's where you get the win. And so you just referenced to the movie with the Cheetos, and it seemed like he was
Mhm.
successful, but he was like, "Nah, we're gonna take this to the next level. Like, what is that?" And he literally, physically, from what it seems like, and I'm gonna go watch the movie, so we're gonna concur, we're gonna come back to that information because I love those situations. He went back and said, "Did what? He did the groundwork, got in his car,
Literally.
but you see that some of y'all are so yeah. It looks you feel like that's beneath you, right? Or there's an easier way to do it. We're gonna do it social media. Yo, social media is dope for many reasons, but there's nothing better than groundwork and actually knocking on people's doors, shaking hands, kissing babies, and building relationships. So just check yourself, identify where you're lacking the energy, that 125 that Ala like talked about. Acknowledge where is it that DJ, you brought your man up, that you're comfortable just being the best at a certain level, but not really tapping into your highest potential, right? Because I know my man's gonna be listening. It's like, yo, you only live once. And so there's gonna come a point in your age that if you're in your early 23s, you're gonna eventually hit 50. If you're blessed to be 53, and then you're gonna look back and be like, "Yo, I could have, should have." And so a lot of you are always in a position that put yourself to be that could have, should have been individual instead of literally walking through the door. And even if you fail, that's all right because that's part of the growth. So I love y'all, man. I just want y'all to understand, man. Listen, life is what you make it. Period. Life is what you make it. Period. And so this is the Paralyzed to Prosper podcast. And what I always tell you is this: if you're not willing to walk forward, you're always gonna stay stuck. That's it. And so when you decide to stay stuck and you decide not to walk forward, just don't blame nobody else for your lack of success. Own that. And when you're ready, if you're ready, then you get up and you decide to make that next step. I love y'all. Listen, continue to know that we're gonna come up, show up, and give you the love, give you the nuggets, and share our transparency. That's why this podcast is A1 in my book, and I love to get together with these two because there's a lot of things that we talk about that we're going through, that we're coming out of, that we're challenging ourselves as not only individual but as a company. But remember this: if you're in a position that you want to win, all you got to do is put God first, and He's going to do the rest. Put in the work, and He will handle what you can.